Neil, you want to do roll call, please?
Yep. Randy.
Here.
Bo.
Here.
Jeremy.
Here.
Kay.
Yes.
Okay, item number 3 is approval of minutes for September 14, 2021. You guys, this has been sent out, but if you want to take a look.
I'll move we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Randy.
Yes.
Bo.
Yes.
Jeremy.
Yes.
Kay.
Yes.
All right, item number 4, approval of financials to date. About the third, starting on the third page. Neil, any kind of,
There's nothing out of the ordinary. I just was going to mention that we're in good shape. If you look at the total checkings and savings, so we're in good shape.
And we just started our reset.
Yeah, just-
First quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got a bunch of pledges in and all that kind of stuff. So
that's what I was going to ask, if kind of where it's, is that the last page?
Yeah. Right now, I think we've got in $39,590
Yeah, 590.
in pledges, and we still have some outstanding that I know we're going to get. But
And typically we try to get those done by,
we send them out, I believe, in September or October, one of those, and they come in throughout the year. So
just kind of be following up
we
with
have not had the Novita meeting where we get
the biggest chunk.
the biggest chunk. Yeah.
Okay. Did we just lose Kay?
I don't know where she went.
Well, I guess my statement about losing anybody did not work.
She said that she was running to her office.
Okay.
So.
As soon as she gets back, we'll,
Have a vote.
yeah. Are there, I guess, Neil, is there any, oh, sorry. All right, any other questions or discussion? Do I have an approval for our financials today?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions? Roll call?
Kay.
Yes.
Jeremy.
Yes.
Bo.
Yes.
Randy.
Yes.
Okay, motion's approved. Agenda item number 5, Neil, any updates on website?
We went through a training several weeks ago on how to add and take things away and all that stuff. And Jeremy and Greg and I attended the meeting. So we did add a bunch of links to the site, you know, the Chamber, the State Department of Commerce, let's see, Alva, Chamber, Tech Center, the college. So a bunch of those have been added and things like that. And that's about all we've done. And you and I have talked, you know, about having the intern do some updates with pictures and,
Yeah.
and things like that. So that's all I got on the website.
And we did talk, if we need, I think we'll have some volunteers that can help with some pictures now if we need to get some things updated, or any of the committee thinks there's certain places we could get
I'd
some
like to
pictures.
get, some pictures of vacant buildings, if we get permission, and things that can be used for lease and things like that, and put on the website. What were the other things? We were talking about some more quality of life things on there. Just some things like that. So,
Okay. And I actually have another person that I'll be reaching out to for one of those vacant buildings, so. Any other questions or comments?
Everybody knows who Greg is, right? Neil mentioned Greg, that's our IT director here at
Yep.
the school. So
yeah.
I figured everybody knew, but just in case. So he'll be a help there.
We
He'll
appreciate,
retain more of it, I hope.
yeah,
than
we
I do.
appreciate several of you kind of going
Yeah.
through the process.
About kind of the ins and outs, I think he's a little bit more savvy.
Yeah.
All right, there'd be no action on that one, so agenda item 6, WC, the industrial update.
Been kind of slow. We did have an individual that was looking at the building in Winoka as a possible lease. So hopefully they'll get that lease back out. They still have not gotten the survey redone for the property at the airport. Other than that, everything's going pretty smooth there.
Okay, any other questions on industrial? WOA update, agenda item 7. Neil, anything on?
The only thing I was going to report on that I went to their teeny tiny homes or towns, and there was a lot of information. I mean, it was really a good session with them. We did have several speakers on the art funding and things like that, and so it was a really good meeting. I wish you guys could have been there, but that's all I have on that at this point.
When's the next, have they set the next meeting for that one?
I haven't seen any
I haven't
dates,
seen anything either.
but
Okay, have you heard anything on that? Okay. All right, any questions on that? Agenda item 8, Executive Director's Report. You've got your report in front of you. Neil, any highlights? Obviously, you're still working on some of the broadband and infrastructure water projects.
yes, and of course, we joined with 4 other counties, and I wanted to point that out. We're going for some ARP money. This has been a challenge, I'll put it that way. I can't tell you how many communities that we've got that have submitted stuff for that. We've done some here in Alva and Woods County. Some of them are still working on it, but we've had numerous meetings with the legislators and things like that, and we're trying to get questions answered. It's not a typical grant that we're used to working with, so the other thing is we're working with an engineering company at Avard. They're doing some engineering on water and road. They've got a good start, and they should give us a report, hopefully by this Thursday when we have a meeting of that group. I've also submitted for a grant for Avard through Commerce, which they'll have a $24,000 grant where we can get a site selector to go out there and look and say, these industries will fit. These are the infrastructure needs that you need to upgrade. And that's what that grant is for. Let's see.
What 2 companies are you working with the broadband?
Next link in Chisholm.
Why not Pioneer?
Well, Pioneer's involved in that. I mean, they've got to be because they're the one that has fiber here.
And they're out there running it now.
Yeah, yeah. Camp Houston area.
But they're stopping at Logan Road and leaving a whole lot of people
Yeah.
unserved.
Well, you remember, we had that meeting with Pioneer here.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, yeah, we're gonna get you blah, blah, blah. Well, I called, and of course JR, the main guy that was doing it that day, retired. So I talked to the other guy that was with him. And he said, yeah, the board got together and they put you guys all on. And he said, you're about 2 years out. So I don't know what that means, but honestly, I think we need to have Pioneer again and see where we're at. Because I know that they are doing that. Ken Oakland is bringing fiber.
They're within about 3 or 4 miles of the state line, and they've told those people that they're leaving out that it'll be a minimum of 7 years before they can get
Get
it.
out there.
And it seems completely foolish to me. And they're doing that with government grants, and it's not ARPA money because that ARPA money's
Yeah.
not out there yet.
Yep.
And I mean, I've got a pretty big problem with that.
Yeah.
That they're that close, and I mean, I don't know what we need to do, but I think we need to do something.
I'd heard that Pioneer was running into Woodward to the homes, fiber
Yep,
to the homes.
they are.
And I'm not exactly sure, but I don't think they're running it to the homes in Freedom, but they're up there north, running it up there and
See, I-
stopping on Logan Road.
Someone told me that Freedom was getting it. Now, they could be totally wrong, because this was not a company official.
Well,
So-
what I'm thinking is it's just north of Freedom. I don't think they're working into town.
End of town, okay.
But I stand to be corrected on that also, but that's crazy to go up there and just like a few miles and not pick
good.
up about 10 or 15 people.
Yeah.
That are gonna be left out. When that's the big kick about this whole thing is get those underserved people served.
So under new business, can we recommend that this body develop a resolution that we have Neil send to Pioneer and Kanakla that we want all businesses and homes in Woods County to be served by fiber cable for economic opportunity purposes and educational purposes. We have a lot of people working from home and students at every level that need something besides satellite internet.
And I talked to Kay about this. I'm not sure we had not to get a hold of Logan Phillips. I haven't did that because, I mean, they're stopping under 2 miles from people and run that stuff out there. I don't know how many miles they ran out of it.
So whoever the decision makers are at Pioneer and Kanakla need to be brought in here and they need told.
I know when we went to the state capitol and had the meeting with the representatives from that 4-county group, that Pioneer was there. Chisholm was there. I mean, so I know they're aware that we want the fiber. Now, I don't know what it takes. Enid is getting it. Woodward's getting it. I don't know the criteria, I guess, what they're working off of to figure out why they're not here.
Well, they're working on off of previous grants. I know that.
Yeah,
That's what next week
Enid's
is.
project was in correlation with OGD and.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's not with
and all these legislators are preaching about this deal is like electricity going in, and it needs to be
Yeah.
went to everybody, and it just seems crazy to me, they're stopping with just so little to do up there.
Well, see, I do know, we were told, the big push was broadband when the ARPA money came out to begin with. And we were told later that that's not going to be their big push because that other infrastructure bill's coming down with another $1 billion or whatever it is. But My problem has always been with the internet companies. You know, they were wanting counties and municipalities to stack some of their ARPA money. I can't see us doing that with a private entity.
Well, I agree with you, and I also have a little bit of problem with this Cimarron outfit. Or Chisholm, I'm sorry. Because he didn't want federal money before because he didn't want to deal with the regulations. Well now, and we've already got 4 internet providers in Woods County. So, I mean, I really don't see why we involve another. Get the ones that are here to provide for the people that are here.
If they're good ones, I don't mind that. And I don't mind them having 50 to choose from.
What, you mean the Chisholm deal's a good one?
From what I understand.
Well, he's only been in business, and this is about his 5th business that he's been in since he got back to Enid. And you'll hear a whole lot of different stories,
Yeah.
opposite of what you're saying from the people in Enid.
And I'm going off of the Fairview.
I know, and what I'm saying is those
Well,
people in
here's the
Enid.
thing, I don't think we should put any municipality or government money with a private entity.
Well,
Period.
I'm not gonna disagree,
Right.
but there's a lot of this deal that Murdoch's on that they're gonna focus towards broadband.
Yeah.
And because he point blank told us that, and that's a big push all across the nation. Now, I don't know how it should be done. I agree with you that we can't be in a joint venture with those private entities and us, but we need to be known what they're doing and have some input into the people they need to serve when they get close. I mean, we need to, somebody, whether we get a legislator to do that, like Logan Phillips or what, but it's ridiculous that they're just doing part of a job.
Yeah. And that's what they've done, you know, in the past. I mean, it's like coming into Alva and they can cite that they're serving X number of, and maybe only have 2 or 3 hooked up. So, and the cost is prohibitive because we checked just taking it across the highway to a couple businesses and they said that's too expensive for what they need. So,
Oh yeah, I got it right in front of my house and I can't hook up to it.
yeah.
And
But I do know Canopla came by our housing area and asked if we would be interested in fiber. And of course I told them yes. And they didn't give me necessarily a cost, but I think at that point they're just doing a survey to see where they're at.
well, just a question, are you getting it now from NextLink?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and perfectly happy. I mean, it's good.
Well, my whole objective is that everybody should have it available to them,
Yes.
and I don't care whether it's through the air or through fiber or whatever. And I mean, but I don't see a whole lot of purpose in overlapping, you know. And I see that that's where we need to get involved with the ones that are here to be sure that
Or the ones
overlap
that said they
doesn't.
were interested in coming here
Yeah.
to do some stuff. I'll reach out and see if I can find any more. I did hear in rumor, but I heard that proposals basically already outweigh the amount of money that was available. So, and the only other thing, and I think I told Dr. Decker that guessed that we probably wouldn't hear anything until legislative session even started.
2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's over twice what's already been allocated has already been requested. Now,
Yeah, I didn't hear
they've only
about
done 4 million something at this point. So,
May I interject something here as a landowner and resident in the area that's being underserved?
Sure.
Since Pioneer has been out there working, we've been asking a lot of questions and getting a lot of different answers. And I recently got notified just this morning from Pioneer that said we were in an area that was not federally funded. And my question to that is, how come? I thought this was supposed to extend to all rural Americans. Where in the definition do we not fall in that category?
I agree with you.
Also, I was stopped and talked again to the same guy that I spoke to on the phone from Pioneer and asked him, are you going to come to our ranch? And he said, no, we are not. We're going to stop at this road with a house that has nobody in it, and that's as far as we're going. And I said, who makes that decision? And he told me that that came from the Senate committees, at which time I've contacted my senator, and he has told me that he was unaware that that was happening, and he would speak to the head of the committee that that was on. So how come nobody is working together and knows what the right hand and the left hand are doing on this, that leave these pockets unattended to? And my question to you, as a committee here for Woods County, is the impetus that I got from Pioneer was that we need to get every individual and get them to submit an online fiber application to them to be even considered. And it's like, well, how come that hasn't already happened? How come people weren't collectively notified as a unit and walk through the process? Because I got on there, and that's how come I got these answers this morning, is I submitted the GoPioneer.com fiber request after the fact, after I saw they're in the area, to no avail, at this point. But I'm getting a lot of different answers, and we need to do something collectively here locally to be able to bring this forward so that it gets some attention before they leave.
Well, I agree with you totally, and it's my lack of knowledge or whatever. I didn't know they were gonna run any of those lines till they called me and they were running them in the ditch. They didn't even get permits to do it.
I think that's probably all of our frustration a little bit is we getting bits and pieces of what we need to do. If you've gone or looked at and I know 3 of us in here have filled out the ARPA funding, basically a very 250 words or less.
Oh, it's terrible.
So when you talk about collectively doing that kind of stuff, the process really doesn't allow for that. We have had I think we're trying to work as a county and other counties because that's what we were told, that we'd have a better chance. But then we're also told that each community ought to go ahead and put in a submission as well. So I understand your frustration, but I don't know how to answer your question.
I think we need to pass a resolution from this body and send it forward to both Pioneer and to Canoka. They are the regional cooperatives. They have to answer to the public. And tell them that we are aware of pockets and we want those pockets served, and that we are taking it beyond them to our legislative bodies. And the way to resolve this is money. And so even if they don't have it today, they might not be able to realize any benefit in the future financially if they don't serve the pockets that are. So we need to do some communicating and reach out, talk to everybody that is involved, and bring Pioneer back, bring Canoka back, and get the right people here.
And Nextly needs to be involved too.
I don't care who
Yeah,
they
I
are.
mean, but because they're here, that's what I'm getting at. They need a plan of, and I think you're right, we need a committee and we need to get together, because we aren't involved in broadband as a county, the city, anything. So that's my problem with the ARPA money. It's going to go to.
Yeah, because I don't think any city or county wants to
Right.
own the infrastructure to take care of it for years to come.
Exactly.
So.
That's not their business, I mean.
What if we got the communities, like the city councils, our board, and the county commissioners together, and we have each one of those entities do a letter and we send it to our legislators.
Sign one resolution.
Yeah.
Sign
Right,
one.
I agree. I think you can have a committee of all those together, but I think
Okay.
you better stand unified
Yeah.
in one.
One resolution,
Yes.
have them all sign it.
Yeah, that would be my suggestion. I mean, because then you got all the forces that be, I guess, and send it to them.
Well, bring the companies here, they need to answer for this.
Well, I have no problem with that.
They've gotten lots of federal money in the past, they're going to get additional federal money. They need to be making sure that households and businesses are connected.
And where do you live?
They're all
Sorry, what?
north of Camp and then north of Whitehorse.
Okay.
We're County Road 250.
Yes, and my neighbors here, the same situation is happening.
3 miles, yeah, 3 miles down the road.
Yeah.
And you know, you talk about the time frame, and really, as being like a business owner in that area that has ran my business out of my household, or tried with what internet I have, I mean, we're already looking, I mean, we are Pioneer consumers. We have used Suddenlink in town, AT&T. Pioneer seems like it's the best in where we live. But even right now, I mean, if we don't have a booster on our house, we can hardly make a phone call. So that's just the edge of just issues when you're trying to run a full business, and me and my husband Brody Bush on
I
Elsa
couldn't
Bush.
teach from home when I lived in Torrance.
I mean, that's what we're looking at, and, you know, we made it through COVID, thankfully, but, you know, when they're 3 miles from your house and our ranch and where we run everything out of, or try to, it's very frustrating, and, you know, we are Pioneer consumers. We know how much we spend because both of our business phones are with Pioneer. Our internet through my brick and mortar, Brody's brick and mortar here in town, are through Pioneer. So when you talk about money, it's like we're already given. We're given over $500 a month, and for shoddy internet that, you know, hardly works, or cell phone service too. You know, and so we even looked at, you know, Elon Musk's Starlink, which satellite right now is not any better in our area because if the wind blows like it does, you don't have much service. So, you know, it's like we waited already 2+ years for a hope of some you know, better internet. And to know that they're 3 miles away, that's the only answer they can give you. Or sign up, you know, go to the website. We've already gone to the website and signed up now for 2 years, so.
We just need to,
Well, I was really impressed when Mr. Logan Phillips came.
Yeah,
And I think that's where,
It's been about a month since I've talked to Logan, so.
but
Yeah.
I think that we should address whatever we're going to towards him and anybody else, but him definitely.
Well, I think Senator Murdoch's on that,
He is,
but I'm saying,
I'm just telling you
yeah.
that
yes, I
I
know.
won't say anymore.
Yep. All right, and we'll start trying to reach out, and might reach out some of you to be on the committee and, see if we can get something put
we
together
probably
with
need
the
to
council.
get on it pretty quick if they're going to be making
Yeah.
decisions once session starts. So we got about 60 days.
Yep.
Actually, 45.
Any other new business or,
I was gonna finish up.
oh, yep.
The group from Oregon should
Oh,
be
yeah.
here this month, towards the end, and I've tasked some of the college students to make a list of things that they would like to see in our area. So my thinking is we can't put a plan together without knowing the things that they really would like to see. You know, everybody's saying all the time that, well, there's nothing for the college kids to do around here. Well, let's find out what they want, what they'd like to have, and then work towards those goals. So I've got them doing that. We've got the turkey hunt meetings have already started. So I guess that's probably the end of the report.
Okay.
Do you need a motion under new business?
No, I think we'll probably put the committee together and then come back, and we'll probably have to approve the resolution that we send. We might have to have a special meeting to do that, because we'll need to do it before March. So, any other new business or announcements?
Working on a couple businesses for Aylord, so.
And I know with Neil and then even myself got contacted, kind of some other businesses in town looking to expand a little bit, that we're trying to help in some ways to get that done, so that's a good, like any kind of expansion is good, so.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think there's a little more urgency to this. How about we do something about decide what members from what groups we want to bring together?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, yeah, we talked about that.
You know, just what, because
I was thinking the city managers or the mayors, you know, either who they want to appoint on that. You know, Dr. Decker, if you would,
I don't have time.
okay,
I'm.
would you want to be on it though?
Yeah, and there can only be one commissioner
Yep,
in the meetings, and they're working out in my area now, and so I'll gladly, but I think the quicker we get this committee together
Yep.
and try to address the issue.
No, I plan on trying to maybe send that out to basically city managers and mayors and kind of decide who would want to be the representation for those, and then, let's see, 6, yeah, I think we'll be able to get 6 easy, so.
Yeah, you don't want to leave the comment and free it out.
Correct.
Maybe Capron, I don't know what Capron is doing, but that might be worth asking.
Yeah, will you serve for?
Yeah, you put me down for the comment.
Okay. Any other suggestions, maybe of people that would be good to contact?
Probably want to talk to the principal at Freedom Schools,
Yeah, we need some school representation.
and then Mr. Oko here, and I can't think of the Sue, but Freedom Superintendent
Yeah.
is not even a resident of Freedom, so need to talk to the principal.
Yeah, I got
Michelle.
Scott Klein is, Scott Klein's the
Okay, yeah.
superintendent.
So I would bring them in because they had to, as a result of COVID, do a pretty accurate inventory of tech needs for every student in the districts. So they're going to know where the gaps are.
Okay.
And it might be nice just if you would touch base with Logan and see if that map is available.
'Cause
I checked earlier, and he says, yeah, he said
Well,
as soon as he could release it, he would, but at the time we checked, he couldn't do it, so.
Yeah,
I will,
I've tried to be,
Excuse me.
staying on top of that. And not
That is probably one of the biggest things that could help.
maybe I would.
Okay. Anything else? I appreciate y'all coming today and wish everybody a great holiday break, and I will ask for a motion for adjournment.
So maybe.
Second.
A motion and a second. Roll call?
Kale.
Yes.
Randy.
Yes.
Bo.
Yes.
Jeremy.
Yes.
Kay.
Yes.